All right, good morning, everyone. Back with another video. What I wanted to talk about today was complacency in the global economy, and really the US economy specifically, because Trump has come in like gangbusters. A lot has happened, but nothing catastrophic has happened yet. If you think about what Trump's done with tariffs, ripping up trade agreements, uh, you know, pulling out of NATO. Uh, Inflation is sticky, right? Like the U.S. debt's out of control. All these things are happening worldwide, but obviously the U.S. is the world's leading economy. And these are problems that have been going on for years, especially if you think about the U.S. debt. There's been warnings and warnings about how this is unsustainable. Uh, but interest rates had stayed relatively low until recently, and they're still historically low. But the complacency is probably going to blow up in people's faces soon because we're reaching an inflection point. And there's that old saying, it's like, how did you go bankrupt slowly and then all of a sudden? And it's there's a lot of things that are boiling slowly, and then all of a sudden they can metastasize into a crisis. And I think what's going to tip it over is this war in Iran, the closing of the Strait of Hormuz, and the destruction of 10 to 15% of the world's oil supply with no end in sight. Because again, people, like with the tariffs, there was a lot of gloom and doom. Obviously, a lot of businesses got hurt, especially small businesses in America, which is not great. But overall, there wasn't the catastrophic impact a lot of economists predicted. And again, same with the debt. It's grown and grown over 20, 30 years, and it hasn't resulted in a crisis yet, although it is reaching that point as interest payments on the debt are almost the biggest line item budget, line item in the federal budget. But again, I think there's been complacency with this situation in Iran because market oil prices haven't skyrocketed. Gas is going up now, but it hasn't gone to $5, $6 a gallon yet. But this is the one I think where the complacency is going to break, and there could be real panic, real chaos in the stock market, in the world economy, in food supply, because there's just no end in sight. And this is a physical thing that can't be papered over with more money printing or whatever the case may be. There's a physical shortage of oil, and the cascading effects for fertilizer and all this other stuff for the food supply is jet fuel prices, all of this, what people pay at the pump, all of this is going to come home to roost. And there doesn't seem to be a short-term fix. Iran is telegraphing that they're going to keep control of the strait, charge a toll or whatever. Barely any traffic is getting through, and it's a situation where Trump can't just walk away. He can't force them to reopen it, short of a big escalation, which still may happen. But this was sold as a 2 to 3 week war. Trump was high on his own supply after getting rid of Maduro in Venezuela. He thought this would be a quick operation. And his poor judgment, his uninformed view of policy. For 40 years, military planners have said if we attack Iran, they're gonna close the strait. Um, he keeps saying we've destroyed their navy and this and that, but that doesn't matter. He can keep saying that the U.S. has won, but the strait remains closed. Iran's still not going to give up their nuclear weapons. And he should have studied Vietnam, because the same thing happened there as we carpet bombed the whole country, destroyed a lot of their military infrastructure, but ultimately we lost that war. Just because you destroy a lot of stuff doesn't mean you're winning the war, especially in this day and age where there's more asymmetric warfare, more use of drones. A $2,000 drone can destroy a $2 million piece of military equipment. So he's completely uninformed. And I think the complacency is going to come to an end with this war and the cascading effects that cannot be hidden from the world economy. All right, we'll stop there. Be back again with another video tomorrow. As always, appreciate if you like and subscribe.